How's it going, everybody? Another day in the power saw shop. Was gonna do this on the live stream today, but we got carried away chatting, didn't we? So moving forward, I'm gonna do a separate video on this. This video is all about the little details, the non-glamorous stuff that I do to a saw before I ship it. Now, you guys know that I've been around here. Most of the saws that I build are either old or blown up in a box. 98% of the stuff that goes through here is non-runners. Now, this saw ran before I started it, but it's an older saw and I've done quite a bit of work to it. This saw is for my buddy Caleb, and I want to make sure that he has nothing but reliable service from this for the foreseeable future. And I also want to eliminate any issues that he might have down the road. Also, I gotta clean this thing, decal it, and get it ready to ship. So, let's start with today, this recoil. I'll bring you guys in close, and I want to show you guys this recoil. A couple things I don't like about it, and I'll show you guys what I found. I was digging around in my junk, and I found this really clean 044, 046, 460, 440 recoil body with no guts in it. And then I also found this nice recoil with a good Elastostart handle, but it's kind of ripped apart. So let's build a recoil for this thing. This one doesn't look very good. The paint's missing and the Elastostart's busted on it. Somebody put a washer in here, which worked, but I just can't send this saw looking like that. So anyhow, I'll bring you guys in close and let's build a recoil today. This is the ported MS460 that I built. As you can see, it's got the pipe on it. Got that pipe painted and the paint cured today, so that's one thing that I have done. Also, that West Coast chain brake, got the paint on that. Got to put that back together, but let's get to the heart of this video. The recoil. This one works fine. There's nothing really wrong with it, but it's got some issues, and I just can't send this thing to Caleb looking the way it does. It looks horrible. It's got a washer holding the string on. That might be okay for occasional use, but this saw is going to get run a lot daily. This is going to be a production saw, so I can't leave it like that. If it's not good enough for one of my saws, I'm certainly not sending it out the door to somebody else. So I want to do this video on recoils. Recoils can be difficult for people, and I've had many a saw come in this shop with a busted recoil, or the string broke, the rope broke, and the person will be like, I have no idea how to put this back together. So let's build a recoil for this. Just going to pull these screws off. There's 4 screws that hold this on. I'm just going to completely take this recoil off, and I'll just keep it for my spares. Be good enough in a pinch if I had a saw that needed a recoil, but again, can't send it out the door with this thing. Here's how Stihl does the recoils. It's got two starter paws that are replaceable. They are plastic, and then this piece of wire that holds it in. Okay, so what I found here today, and I just want to make sure it's the right one. I found this. I'm guessing this is a new recoil, but I took parts off of it. So, okay, we'll put this on this saw, and that'll make it look, a little bit more tidy. Okay, I'm just going to take this saw and put it to the side for right now. And let's find some suitable parts. I need to find a new elasto handle, so we'll start with that. Okay, so I got this one here. I want the guts out of this to go into this unit. Here's your Elastostart handle. Now, when you first see it, this piece is going to be shoved down into here, okay? Okay, so I'm going to pull that all apart, and I'm going to cut this end off. Okay, there goes our Elastostart right here. I actually like these things. They feel good in the hand. Okay. Notice there's no spring in here. If you are going to pull the center out, make sure you try not to take the spring out, because that's where the party starts. If you do remove the spring, wind it. The way I do it is I'll wind it on the bench in between a bunch of screws that are the right size, and then I'll safety wire it, and then I'll put it back in that way. Winding it one loop at a time on the bench, it takes forever. Okay, I'm going to take this piece out. Okay, and I clean it off. I'm going to carefully take this, and we don't need this piece anymore. There's two tabs that clip into the bottom here. See that? And then just put it in. Sometimes it's a little tight like this one. Sorry, my air line's leaking. It's time for my yearly replace all my air hoses, all the ends. I do that quite regularly, it seems. Okay, take your screw. One. Grab the other one here. Okay, and I'll just cinch these down. Okay, and here's our cleaned centerpiece. Now the end of the spring catches in there. You can see it. Okay, just like this. I'll figure out which way gives you tension. So this way, okay? So that's the way we're going to wind it. Now, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid of this old dried up frayed rope, and I'm going to put new rope in it. Okay, here's my new rope. First thing I'm going to do, singe the end. Try not to burn myself. Okay. Now, if you look inside, here's the easiest way to do it. Now, I usually just do an arm's length. We'll say that. That's probably going to be a bit too much, but okay. There we go. Feed this through the hole. Okay. And then through the hole in the recoil. You guys see? Right there. And then I'll get a screwdriver, and you can see it from the back, and I'll push it through. Just like that. Okay. Grab this. Now remember, you're limited by how much room you have. So you can only put so much of a knot on there. Okay, now what I do, put it on the table here. And I'll cut the tail off. Now, see how it's fraying? Take my lighter. Okay, light it on fire, and then I'll mushroom it out so that it can't pull back through. Okay, so now it's glued together basically. That should be good there. Okay, push it into the space. Okay, feed it through into the space provided for you. Okay, and there it is, pulled as far in as I can get it. Now we might as well put these back together on here. Okay, put your starter pawls back in. Just like that. Now, this whole unit's held together by this. Okay, one of these double clips. Now, there's still sealant on there, so that's going to hold this together. Okay, and it looks like this. You put it all together. There you go. Okay, now don't worry about winding your spring. Just figure out where the opening is. Okay, that's already grabbing the spring. Now take your Torx and start winding it in. Okay, make sure your starter dogs or paws, whatever you want to call them, make sure they're grabbing. Okay, now cinch it down tight. These things factory are usually so tight, they're hard to remove. Okay, so don't be afraid to reef on it. Okay, tight. And now if you're going to wind it, look. Okay, so there's that part of it. This goes first, and then the elastostart mechanism goes after. Okay, so put your rope through there, just like that. And now your elastostart. Okay, now all I'm going to do is just tie a knot on here for now, till we wind this. Then we'll figure out exactly how much rope we need. Okay, now I'm going to grab a set of vice grips or locking pliers so that I can figure out where I need it. But if you don't have those, you can just do it like this. Okay, remember, this is the easiest part. You don't have to worry about the spring. Okay, that's the easiest part. Take this. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I usually go about 6. Okay. Now take your string's gonna kind of do some funny things on you. Okay. I usually twirl it like this to get the twist out of it from doing that. Okay. Now let it go. Now I'm pulling with my arm here to see how much string I can put on here. Okay, so we want it to be about that long by the looks of it. Okay, maybe a little bit shorter. So that's where I want all my parts to go, right here. That's where the locking pliers come into place. Okay, now all I've done is mark that. Now I want to feed this down through there. And basically, because this is an elastostart, just make sure that's at the bottom. This is where I want to tie my knot. Okay. Now there's a dirty spot there, so I know exactly where it's going. Okay. I'm going to pull this out to here. I'm going to put my locking pliers back on it and leave it. Get my handle past there and my elastostart. Okay. I want my knot to be somewhere about there. Okay, and then I'm going to go back through again. The old figure 8 knot. You just basically want to tie a good sized knot that's not going to pull through. Okay, there's our knot. I'm not going to cut this off yet until I absolutely know that we're where we need to be. Now, take your elastostart mechanism and it pushes back through into there. Just going to pull it through by hand. Okay, just pull it through by hand. Now that knot is inside here, okay? Leave the tail end though, just in case you didn't get it right. Now take this and pull it. Let's see if I can do this without any lube. Sometimes you got to put a little oil in there. Okay, pull it back through there. There we go. Make sure you got enough rope, not too much. Now, I got pretty long arms, so usually my wingspan is enough for most people. Take this, cut it off. Take your lighter. Same thing, mushroom it. Pull it back through there. Now what I did You don't have to do this. The little factory nub that goes in there, I cut it off the original rope. Now it looks factory. Okay, there you go. Brand new starter rope. This is heavy braided rope I use, and this stuff does not break. Now, the last thing to do, this doesn't matter, but it does to me. I found this better cover. It's an original factory steel cover. Right there. Now look at that. Looks like a brand new OEM Recoil for an ancient saw. And Caleb takes really good care of his saws. They look nice, and he appreciates these little things. And again, this ain't pulling out, okay? And you get that nice little elasto start option. Let's put this back on the saw. Okay, here's the saw. Oh, this is going to look so much nicer. There you guys go. I'll tighten the screws up. That looks way better. That cleans this saw up tremendously. Look at that. Let's see if it works. Yep. Wow, that looks better. See, the devil is in the details. All these little things. I don't know, when a guy waits for a saw, and I mean, this was my saw, I bought this, but I told him, hey man, I'm going to give you this saw. And he's anxiously waiting. When a guy waits for a saw and he gets it, I want him to marvel at how clean it is and it looks good, and then I want him to just run the living snot out of it. Now, one thing I'm going to have to do to this saw, because, you know, it's a Tin Man saw. If a fella's running a Tin Man saw, he's got to have a Tin Man decal on it, right? So we're going to grab a little Tin Man decal here. These small ones. Decal this saw. There you go. That adds, what, 3-5 horsepower, something like that. Okay. Not many other places I can put it because the Recoil is going to smash that, but I'll give them extras. There's another place that we can definitely put a Tin Man saw's decal. Let's work on that. Okay, now moving over to the other side. I got that West Coast high flow cover that I got from Ryan at Wolf Creek. Thank you, Ryan. It's so cool that people donate parts to the channel for other people's saws, you know. Okay, I got to pull these sliders off. I painted this. Now this is, I mentioned this is a high temp ceramic coating, and it needs to be baked on. So I baked the coating on this today during the live stream, and that's what we got now. Gotta put these in the right ones. There you go. Put this dog back on. Another screw right here. Just gotta find me an 8mm wrench. I want these tight, but not too tight. These are small bolts. There you go. I like that. Yes, sir, I do. Okay, I'm just wiping anything off that I may have gotten on. Honestly, shouldn't have gotten anything on here, but again, like I said, the devil's in the details, all the little things. Okay, now I'll take another one of my decals, and we'll decal this side. That way, when people hear the noise, they know who to complain to. That Tin Man character. Okay. And 2 really good bar nuts. These are just the little things I do. I replace bar nuts and fasteners and whatever I find on a saw that ends up here, I replace. If I have better stuff, you know, I'll just go through and fix all the little things that I find. Because I want saws to look better and work better when they leave here. You know, all the little things, even if the customer doesn't notice, I notice. And it's about what I think most of the time. What do you guys think of that? That's a power saw. And just because it's funny, every time he's running this, I want him to think of me. There you go. I cut a decal down. Now there'll be no doubt who to call and complain to with noise complaints. Good times. I love YouTube. I've met so many good people and just having a good time. Thank you to everybody that helps and supports this channel, because that allows me to do stuff like buy this power saw, build it, and give it away. It's awesome. Okay, everybody. Well, I hope that helps you with your recoils. They are that simple. Put it together, run your rope through there, put your handle on, wind it after, and let it go. And you'll have a recoil that works perfectly. Anyhow, like I said, thank you to everybody that helps out the channel and spends time here, and it allows me to do stuff like this. I wouldn't be able to do this stuff without you guys. Anyhow, let's fire this thing up and send you guys off with some noise. Thanks for watching. Take her easy. Later.